Hello, everybody. Welcome to our discussion for The Ending Writes Itself by Evelyn Clarke. This is a duo. Oh my God, we've all got it. Megan, what copy is that?
This is Mindsight's, like Illumicrate's new box copy, and it's like the hardcover is the house with all the rooms. Oh, it's blurring it, but yeah.
Oh, that's cool. This is a collaboration from Schwab and Cat Clarke, friends and authors who work together to pen this. Neither one has written a mystery before. So if you want to put in the chat, if you did read this one, I don't know, I guess a house makes sense. I think I just kept that from the last live show. If you didn't read it or you DNF'd or you're waiting to be convinced, give us a little skull. I have a lot of co-hosts here with me today, so I'm going to jump right into letting them introduce themselves. I love to hear any recent favorite mystery thriller horrors, just because selfishly I want to get recommendations. But it also gives people a sense of your, reading. And I don't know, your name, your channel, anything else you want to share with the class.
Wait, what did Cat Clarke write before this? I thought she was a mystery.
Oh, no, she has written, I want to say like 12 different YA novels and then turned to screenwriting.
Oh, okay. Anyway, I'm Jan.
I'm pretty sure if I searched the wrong person on Goodreads, there's a different Cat Clarke.
That rings a bell.
No, I just guessed completely.
Okay.
She just sounds like a mystery writer. I don't know.
Several YA novels, it says.
Okay. Anyway. Okay, hi, I'm Jan from Jan Agaton. I do vlogs, TBRs, wrap-ups. That's pretty much it lately. I usually read horror, romance, fantasy, a little bit of everything. And my last 3 5-star horror... Actually, I don't know if this one's a thriller or horror. But anyway, the first one's Hard Luck Jenny by David Sodergren. It's a little novella, super disturbing. And then Dead Weight. This is the author of The Night Guest, which I know is a literally dead book club pick. This one's really fun. This is the one I didn't know if this is horror or thriller.
Oh yeah, I don't know. It's a weird blend, I guess.
And then the other 5 stars, Take Your Turn Teddy by Haley Newland, which is an indie horror. And it's like, I described it as a Monster Calls by Patrick Ness, but make it like tenfold, like on steroids. So.
Wow, I love when people talk about books I've never heard of before. Perfect.
Is it my turn?
Yes, please.
Okay, hi. I'm Darian from Darian the Librarian. My videos have been very sporadic lately because I just moved, but now we're going to lock in. But I kind of read a little bit of everything. I'm a baby when it comes to mysteries, so I don't really have recommendations that people haven't already read. The last one I really liked was Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. But my real answer is the Myrtle book.
Okay.
Because I didn't know there would be a story in it, and the story is so good. So highly recommend.
Wow. I didn't know that either. I thought it was just a game book.
I mean, the story isn't anything like, it's
Crazy.
just like, oh, he went here and someone else died. Now you have to solve it. But it's also queer. And I was like, wow. So highly recommend.
Hell yeah.
Hi, I'm Deja from Deja's Book World, and yes, I have a kitty. Everybody in the comments. She doesn't have a name, so she's just, I call her Miss Girl, so Miss Girl. And I've been calling myself a dibble dabbler lately. I just dibble dabble in all the genres, but horror and thriller and romance are my main ones. And I do lots of different videos on my channel. And my most recent, I've only had 2 5-stars this year. And one of them was Little Secrets by Jennifer Hillier. I know, Kayla, you did not like that Jennifer Hillier you read in that one vlog. But I liked Little Secrets. And then also I read this horror book recently called Walking Practice, which is like Walking Practice is really good. So those are my 2.
Great pick.
Hi everyone, I'm Megan from Meg with Bex. I also read a bit of everything, but I'd say mystery is probably my most read genre, my favorite genre, and I'm quite picky when it comes to it. So I don't often have like high ratings, but I secretly still love reading it. And in terms of why I do my channel, I love doing like themed reading vlogs. I'm currently doing a series where I'm trying to get my TBR below 200, and I'm doing absolutely terribly, like diabolically bad at it. So come join me on that journey. And I've only had 1 5-star this whole year, and it was a non-fiction, so I can't really have many recs. But one mystery I read recently is called The Murder at World's End, and I did really enjoy that. And we might talk about it a bit later because it might be like a recommendation for people who enjoyed this or didn't enjoy this. And then I am on a one-woman mission to get everyone to read the Lady Hardcastle mystery books, and that was a 4.5 for me this year, and they're amazing. The audiobooks are amazing. Go listen to them. But yeah, that's basically, I haven't had many high-rated mystery thriller horrors so far this year.
Fair.
Very sad.
I'm glad you said it that way, because like I also say like, oh, I'm a horror reader, but I hate half the horror that I read.
Yeah.
So, like
Yeah.
I'm not a lover of horror necessarily, but I am.
But I think when you love and read a genre more, you become pickier with how you want it to be done. Like you
That's
see
true.
it done perfectly, and so you want it done perfectly every time. But alas, they're not all.
I love that.
all
I don't
perfect.
know. I never know how anybody rated the books going into these live shows, but especially today, like I don't know anything. And I'm like sitting here wanting to like predict what everybody gave it. But first, I'm gonna have Megan, because we always give like the newbie to the live show the responsibility of pitching the book. Everyone has been here before. Also, just like if you guys would take a second to please click everybody's links in the description and go check out the channels, because these people are very kindly joining me for this hour-long discussion and spending the time reading the book. I would love if you go support their channels as well. But Megan, since she has been here the longest to go, it's been the longest since she's been here, I'm going to give her the responsibility today.
Okie dokie. So I'm going to give a very, very brief synopsis. I'm going to try and keep it brief. I'm not very good at that, so I'm already failing. Okay, so we're following this group of authors who are brought to this secluded island to the house of a very, very famous author. And they believe they're going there to meet him and to learn from him, but they get there and he's dead, babes. He's dead, he's cold in the ground. And they are tasked with writing the ending to his last book that he did not finish. So they think that's why they're there, that's the setup. However, murderousness does begin to ensue, and perhaps people start dying. So yeah. That's what I'd say. Dun, dun, dun.
I'm so sorry, Deja. I'm covering up your kitty with the text there. Thank you so much, Megan. I am very interested to see everybody's rating, and I kind of feel like we're going to get it all across the board. I really think that if I saw someone give this a 1-star, I'd be like, that checks out. And if I saw someone give this 5-star, I'd be like, yeah, sure. Like that makes sense for everybody's different reading journey. So if you want to give me your rating, we're still spoiler free here. Your rating for the book, and like kind of 1 sentence. I know some of us are very long-winded. Mine's going to be more than 1 sentence, but kind of keeping it concise, just like why you gave it the rating that you gave it.
Okay.
I'm ready.
No, I gave it a 4.
Okay. Hell yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like so many people, I feel like everyone else hated it, but I gave it a 4. I had a fun time. At first I was skeptical, because I'm not usually like a locked room mystery thriller kind of gal, because I'm like, even when it's not predictable, it's still predictable, because like, you know, it's one of those people. And then I felt like I could kind of, not that I've read Cat Clarke before, like I said, but I could kind of distinguish V.E. Schwab's writing in the beginning, especially like just in my heart of hearts, I know that's her, that's them, you know? And there were, I took a star off because of the stereotypes, but then like the commentary on publishing and the genres in general, like genres in general. Ew, why did I say it like that? But overall enjoyed it. That was more than 1 sentence. But
I know. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, pretend there were commas. Comma and.
I saw the commas. I heard them.
I gave it a 2.25. I liked the beginning, and then I did not like where it went. I liked how the beginning was like organized and then it changed, and I did not like it after that.
All right. That was concise. Hell yeah.
I think I'm giving it a 3. If I had to do the most concise thought, I would say it was fine. It was fine. I did fall asleep while reading it, so that
No.
happened.
Me too.
Me too, though. On a
But
road-
it was just I'm kind of like Jan, where I don't really love locked room mysteries as much, and this one I think was just fine. Like I kind of liked some of the themes, but the actual mystery I was like, okay, like I'm just here. No feelings.
Fair.
All right. All right.
I'm giving it a 3.5. I feel like for me, it had very high highs, but also very, very low lows, which makes it, I don't often feel like that towards a book. I think it makes it quite hard to rate. You know, there's elements I enjoyed of how it pays homage to the murder mystery genre and like tropes you get in the genre and how it played with that. I didn't like the ending. I thought the pacing in the ending was rough. And yeah, just very mixed feelings overall. There's things I loved about it and things I really hated about it.
Fair.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess I gave it the lowest rating of all of us at a 2.
Oh my god.
I feel like that's kind of predictable for me. 1, because I'm a hater at my core. And 2, because I want to be surprised. Like I want the rug pulled out from under me. And also I want to be lied to. Like I love when an author lies to me and does whatever they have to make me shocked. And this book just didn't do that. It was a really straightforward story. And what I'll say as credit to both of these authors, but obviously like V.E. Schwab has more of a name in the industry. And I think what she is doing that's great is going to bring a lot of readers who've never read mystery into the genre. And because it is more of a straightforward mystery, I think those readers who are coming from a fantasy background have the opportunity to be surprised by what happens in here. And then they have the opportunity to be shocked and like crazy things happen in the genre that they haven't tapped into yet. And I think that's fun. I also think that this is still one sentence, that what this book does really well is talk about the industry. Like these are both like authors who have had a long career, and they're talking about the industry and they're talking about pitfalls and they're talking about the beauty of writing and the passion of writing. And that's something that really comes through. But the story and how we got there, I did not like. So that is my sentence. We're not quite into spoilers because one question I want to ask first is, what intrigued you by this book? Was it the premise or was it the author? Like what got you to want to read this to begin with?
The author.
And also, how much have you read from them before, I guess, too, is my question.
I would read anything by V.E. Schwab. I've been on a journey to read their entire backlist forever. But if this weren't by V.E. Schwab, I probably wouldn't have read this because I don't gravitate towards mysteries. I don't prioritize mysteries unless they're like mystery thriller or whatever. But yeah.
I think it was a little bit of both. I mean, I've never read from Cat Clarke, and I've read 2 books by V.E. Schwab. So when it was like revealed that she was one of the co-authors and I had already been interested in the plot, I was like, oh, well, now I'm definitely going to read it. Also because I figured it'd be really popular and I just wanted to be part of it.
I agree.
For me, it was definitely the author. I own a lot of books by V.E. Schwab. Oh, I have read her middle grade series and I really like that. But I was like, I feel like everybody talks about her so much. I was like, I want to see what she's going to do with mystery because it's completely different for her. And so that's kind of why I was interested in it.
Yeah, for me it was a little bit of both too. Like I've read and loved a lot of V.E. Schwab. Also loved and not read and not loved a lot of V.E. Schwab. But I think when she's good, she's really, really good. And so I wanted to pick up because of that. But also I find it interesting when like this is probably the biggest mystery release of the year in terms of like publishing push. And so I find that interesting. Like why is it being pushed? Is it just being pushed because it's V.E. Schwab as a co-author or so I kind of wanted to read it because of that as well.
I completely agree. That's also the reason I picked it up is I was intrigued by the premise. I've read the author before. I've only given V.E. Schwab a super high rating one time, and that was her probably least popular book, the Addie LaRue one. But I read the first book of like every series she comes out with because I'm intrigued, and then I never continue. And I usually give it like a 3.5 or 4. And it was the premise for sure that intrigued me, because I love the idea. If you've been in this book club for a couple of years, the idea of a writing retreat gone bad. This is the 3rd time we have now read it. This was my least favorite of all the ones that we've picked up, but I mostly was just intrigued by, why is this getting such a marketing push? Is it because of the author, or is it because this book is so interesting? And I kind of assumed, which was probably not fair, that if it was getting the amount of press that it was and the amount of push, and if somebody's stepping outside of their genre, it's because it's so fucking good. Because like I have such an incredible idea. And so I just went into it with a really high expectation. But I was trying to step outside of the authors by the end. And I was like, could I give this like a 3? But if anyone else had written it, I also would have given it a 2. So I tried to separate it, and that's that. Let's get into spoilers so I can ask all the juicy questions.
Okay, I was smiling because Addie LaRue, people were saying, Kayla, Addie LaRue is incredibly popular. Did you
popular, but not her favorite. It's most lowly rated, I feel like.
I thought you were saying that sarcastically. Yeah, that Addie LaRue is like my heart and soul. It's like one of my favorite people of all time. But I just assumed people know that, so I don't like to but yeah, it's like my favorite book. So.
Yeah, I just remember when she came out with it, everyone was kind of like, this is so different than a lot of the things that she's written before. And I remember a lot of the initial reviews were quite poor for that one.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I tuned them out.
I guess like maybe I'm only really paying attention to like when a book first gets published too. Like the longevity of a book doesn't really stick in my mind. Like I'm not looking up reviews for Addie LaRue 3 years later, but I remember like when books first come out and like the first kind of reviews that roll in. Because I remember I read it and loved it, and everyone was like, "Really?" I was like, "I loved it.
I gave it 5 stars."
Hell yeah. My mom's reading it right now. I just gave it to her the other day.
I didn't know we agreed on that one. Wow.
We do agree sometimes.
Amazing.
Look at us go. Okay, so my first spoilery question is going to be, what character or characters you liked following most? Yeah, that's that.
I loved Kenzo. He's like an onion. He has so many layers. I loved him. He's Asian. Okay. He's the horror writer. He's gay. He's sophisticated. He had words of wisdom. He's a forensic investigator. Like, how fucking cool. And then I saw people in the comments saying they hated the epilogue. I love the epilogue. And that was all about him. So
yeah. Love it.
I would say no one, but if I had to pick one,
we were all unlikable.
Yeah, if I had to pick one, I found Sienna most interesting, just because I really wanted to see her like go out on her own, and then we didn't even get to see that.
I think for me, I was originally drawn to the characters that the characters that write the genres I read. So Kenzo, I was like, because he's a horror author, and I think Priscilla too, because she writes Black romance. But also I was really interested in Sienna and Malcolm, because I was like, that duo dynamic, cracks in the marriage, I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, I think Sienna was my favorite. Also my favorite perspective to read from. I don't think I loved a lot of the other perspectives, but I did enjoy when we got to read from her perspective. And I was sad when it ended. I was like, no, I'm stuck with the rest of them. But yeah, I wasn't super attached to any of the characters, but I'd say I enjoyed her perspective of her, like, you know, moving on from the relationship and finding her own footing. I thought that was like, there was some interesting stuff said about that. So yeah, she was my fave.
I didn't have a favorite. I was kind of exhausted by no matter whose perspective we were in at the time. Like I liked Sienna. I wanted to see her succeed, and I wanted to see her storyline, but it was just so like challenging seeing what she had gone through. Like that doesn't make the book bad, but just my experience bad. I was most interested in Kate because the book kicked off with her, and I wasn't interested necessarily who she was, but who she wasn't, like how she was different than all of the other authors because she had never published before. So I was like, oh, this is an interesting character. We introduced her first. She's probably the main character, but then she just vanished for what felt like 150 pages. So I therefore assumed she was the killer because the book was trying to put her in the background. And I was no longer interested in her because anything that we learned about her, I assumed was just like a fake persona, which spoilers did turn out to be the case. So, I think like Millie was kind of objectively interesting to me. She was like really childish and dramatic and wanted to solve the mystery so bad once Sienna died that she was willing to like kind of point the finger at anybody. And I liked following that journey because we got like her backstory and being gaslit by her family her entire life. And so I think the book did well at like constructing the characters and giving us things. But I also feel like we kind of all feel the same about every character. And that's not necessarily my favorite read. I like when I come to a live show and it's like, I hated this person. No, I loved this person. It's like, no matter what we all say, it's like Sienna was interesting. Like Millie was annoying. Malcolm, we're all glad he died, right? Like we all have the exact same feelings. And I feel like that is very intentional by the author. So they give us a very straightforward thing. Here's how you're going to feel about this character. And that's how I feel about all of them. How did you like though, how it was like constructed? How did you like when we met each character, when we got their story and how it was divided up? And I guess this is kind of a pacing question.
I loved how it was constructed. It made it go by so fast, like how there were chapters within POVs within parts. And I'm a slut for multi-POV, so I love that. And like the chapters were short, so I was just like flipping. And what else was I going to say? Yeah, multi-POV, as long as I enjoy the characters, even though they're unlikable, I still had a fun time, I guess. I really shut my brain off for this. I was on a road trip. I was like getting sick. It was a whole
I did not like how it was constructed. I liked it at the beginning when we had kind of like the thriller writers and the whatever sci-fi writer. And I was like, okay, it's gonna be a fun time. And then all of a sudden it's just a really long chapter from Sienna, and then she dies, and then it's Malcolm, and then he dies. So now I'm like, well, now I know whoever we follow is gonna die. So and then we got their backstories in between I just didn't like it.
Yeah, it was a little exhausting.
Yeah. I was like, okay, Malcolm, just die and let's get this over with. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I feel similar. I really liked it at first, especially when it was like the blank author or the other authors.
Yeah.
But then I think it started to get just kind of like, okay, we're in a new perspective and a new part with new chapters. And it's just like, it felt, as you said, exhausting. And I think the pacing, like in general, like, I feel like nobody died for literally like 50%. And I was like, I'm ready for bodies to drop. I'm ready for something to happen. And I felt like we were just like in their minds so much the first half, which is fine, but nothing was going on. I was like, so what's happening? They're all just talking about writing what's going on and then beefing. And I'm like, okay, so that's
They're never actually writing.
Yeah, did they write?
They're drinking, they were busy chatting. I was like, there's millions of dollars on the line, get to your room.
And I'm like,
hours are counting down.
It's like we're just doing nothing for like the first whole half. And I was like, okay, so they're just beefing.
Yeah, I enjoyed it at the start when there was like one chapter per POV, and then I did enjoy when we went into Sienna's POV because I found her more compelling. But then when we were getting into other POVs towards the end and they were longer, I was just I don't feel like I should be like 50 pages from the end of this like dramatic book and I'm learning someone's backstory. Like that completely just takes me out pacing wise and like ruins any sort of suspense or drama or whatever. So yeah, I didn't feel like the structure worked towards the end at all.
There was a moment I really liked, sorry Kayla, on 161 where there's like a before everything goes and then there's a M dash and then it goes into Rufus with quotation marks, but they don't explain why there's quotation marks until after. So I kind of like how they do the little foreshadowing in like one line and then they explain the very next chapter. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I forgot to say.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I think actually this was one of my biggest fears with putting this book on or putting my book club on Fable is that there is the potential for the chapter titles to spoil the book. And up until this point, it hasn't happened. But I do feel like when I went to the Fable app and I saw how the book was divided up, I was like, well, I don't know that character's name. And also I know that Ava gets a chapter. So now I know she comes back. And like, why is Rufus in quotations? So that did, I don't think it ruined the experience for anyone. I didn't see anyone mention that, but I do feel like seeing the chapter titles ahead of time, or if you're somebody who flips through the book first, like that could have not been the most fun experience. As far as pacing for me, I just like shorter, punchier chapters. I like a story when we get like 6 perspectives and we get them all right away. And we're hearing from all 6 of them, and then all 6 of them again, and then all 6 of them again. That's just something that I personally enjoy. I don't feel like this way of pacing I enjoyed because it was after a character died sometimes that we got their backstory. And I just don't know that I cared much about anybody because of the structure of it. Yeah, there was like 50 pages of having to read how much Sienna and Malcolm were really miserable. And that was a tough read, especially because I figured, I mean, I will give the book credit for surprising me because I didn't think Sienna was going to die, especially that early, because she felt like the main character at that point. And not getting to see her kill Malcolm, which is what I wanted, that was a little bit of a bummer. But yeah, the formula felt really clear. Develop a character, kill him off, develop a character, kill him off. I wrote down especially Millie's backstory. I really hated wherever it was placed. I can't think in this moment where it was.
Yeah.
But I remember reading it and being like, why are we learning so much about this girl right now? Like it took away, I think, a lot of the tension at that moment.
Yeah, that's the same one I was referring to. It's like 50, 60 pages on the end. And I'm like, why are we doing this?
Okay. That was pacing. Themes. What themes did you recognize? How were they handled for you?
Just the obvious, the public industry being corrupt, all the different ways society sees all the genres. I think they were handled fairly well, but also like kind of heavy-handed. Like it was as if Schwab and Cat Clarke were like, I have something to say and I have nowhere to put it. Let's collab and put it in this book all at once.
I'm sure it was really cathartic for them.
Yeah, exactly. And I also noticed in terms of the genre part of it, it was so redundant when they kept saying like, you write romance, which is almost the farthest you can get from writing a mystery or thriller. And I'm like, that's so untrue because there's so much like blending of genres, especially now, and you could easily put romance anywhere. And there are so many romantic thrillers going out now, romantic suspense. So I just thought that was annoying because it happened like 3 or 4 times. They mentioned that.
Yeah, I thought they could, like, it could have been so good, but it just felt like a little bit flat for me, all the talking about the publishing industry, because there were so many like good things that they said, they didn't go far enough for me. And then at the end, when it's revealed that Kate used AI, like I thought that was so just like, oh, this is like a big topic right now. Let's just add it into the end of the book. Like, it felt like it could have been like a really good discussion, and it was just like, oh my god, like she was more shocked she used AI than that she killed people. Like
that's such an interesting point. I do wonder if they were planning that from the beginning or if that is something that they threw in, because when you think about it, are we saying that the editor nor agent could have recognized AI and they thought she was like the #1 up and coming author, but she wrote that with AI? That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, obviously kind of the same themes, but I thought it was kind of interesting just like from our side. I feel like we don't really think about, well, maybe us because we're more in the book space, but I think a lot of readers don't think about what it's like for authors when they are obviously like, it's art, and to us we appreciate it as art, but it obviously is commercial and capitalism, and so publishing is how it is with how it treats authors, and it does make art kind of into this commercial thing, and they look for this commercial success because of obviously the capitalistic nature of everything. And so I think it was interesting for a lot of readers. I think it'll be to see like that it is kind of like that, and I thought it did handle it well, but it was kind of hit you over the head with it. Like, this is stuff that I already kind of knew, but I did appreciate it, and kind of like even exploring like ambition and what people do for success. But I liked the commentary overall on like the publishing industry, but I do think the AI subplot, it was kind of like weirdly thrown in. I'm like, okay, I get what y'all are doing, but it was just kind of like a weird side note. I feel like they wanted to like address AI, and it felt like to me as well with the book that they like, or were like, we want to write a book complaining about the industry, and then they just kind of made a plot to fit that. That's what it felt more like to me than anything else. So I think they were just like, yeah, we're kind of tired of the publishing industry, so we're just going to write a book that kind of discusses that. And I think this is what came from that.
That's a really good point about the average reader not thinking about the publishing journey. Like, that's so true. I was watching a really quick clip of the authors doing an interview at a bookstore. That was the only video I could see about them talking about the book, because I wanted to know how they wrote it. And if anyone's curious, they wrote it completely together. Like, it wasn't this person takes this character, or this person takes this chapter. Every single chapter, every single page was collaborative from both of them, which is so interesting. I can't imagine what that file would look like open on your computer while it's like actively being edited. But something that V.E. Schwab said at the beginning, she was like, I wanted to represent mid-list authors. And then she said to the audience, like, does everyone know what a mid-list author is? And nobody knew what that was. And so she had to explain it. And I was like, that's a really interesting point, because I know what a mid-list author is. I think most authors would know. A lot of book community members would, but just like the average reader, like, that means nothing to them. So that's just a really interesting point, that like we view publishing. So every single person who's a reader or an author is going to view publishing so differently. So it was cool of them to want to talk about the business of it all.
Yeah, I reading like the publishing commentary parts, I did feel like I've read this before, maybe in a more nuanced, interesting way. But like you say, like, maybe a general reader hasn't. So I don't know if it's for me to say like, oh, it's rubbish commentary, because I've heard it many times before. But like, whilst it's talking about how bad the publishing industry is in many points, I also did feel like also a love of writing come through at certain points that I really enjoyed. Like when Sienna like figures out the twist or the ending that she wants to be and how excited she was. Like, it made me feel inspired to write. I think it was also a love letter to like writing, whilst also critiquing publishing, which I think is an interesting place for it to sit. But yeah, in terms of the publishing commentary, I feel it was a bit, like, I would say heavy, maybe a bit heavy-handed, but just like I've heard all of it before, you know. So it wasn't like, whoa, that's so insightful, you know.
I liked the publishing commentary. Again, I think that like reading from authors who have been in the industry for so long, obviously they have such a passion, and I think that came through, and they gave every character a different relationship with their publishing journey. So I think that was interesting. I do like that we had the commentary, even though like obviously it was really heavy-handed. But I like the commentary of the man and the woman who are writing the story together, and him taking all of the credit, and him just having such a big ego and not thinking about how it's impacting her, and all the things that she's facing being a collaborative author, but not getting any credit, and all the misogyny involved. One theme that I was thinking about is, well, I guess it's still the same. It's just like a respect for author. I think this book really demands respect for authors, because there's a moment where the editor at the end, there's $1 million on the table if she will just finish the book herself, and she like can't do it. Like, she couldn't find the inspiration. Her mind is blank, and she's just like not cut out for writing. And I think that's a really interesting choice for them to make, because a lot of people will say like there's discourse about the editors versus authors, and like every editor wants to be an author or something, and you have to have, I don't know, you have to have so much perseverance to be an author. And I guess they showed that it's not that easy, because even with, I'm sorry, but there's $1 million on the table. Maybe I would use AI in that situation. Like, I would do something. I would hire someone else to write it for me if I had that opportunity. I think she should have tried a little bit harder, and I was very frustrated by that moment. But thinking about maybe what the book was trying to say and the themes, I'm trying to respect it.
I also, there was one part where they brought it up really for like a second, saying how authors are like the face of everything. So if anything happens, they're kind of the ones that take the blame. And that's something I've been thinking about a lot lately, as there's been some author scandals happening in the community this year in general. But I think that's also really interesting to think about. Not really in, like, I feel like this book didn't dive enough into that. I wish it did a little bit more, but I think that's also so true because things could happen with editors or behind the scenes in publishing, and authors don't know or don't have a say in it, but they're the ones that are the face of everything, and they're the ones that are going to get the backlash. They're the ones that careers are on the line.
I actually think about that all the time when there's discourse about books that like a certain problematic moment got left in the published book, right? And people will say, well, how did an editor not catch that? Or why did the author write that and whatever? And I always think like, I bet that there's so much more that we don't see, and we would dislike authors so much more because the editors are catching things that we would be pissed about. And so, especially when there's authors who are very like quiet online about like other people being caught out for saying fucked up things, I'm like, I bet they are too. I bet they're writing problematic as hell things in their books. It's just that someone along the way stopped them first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, my next question is, what was your favorite scene in the book?
I was dying when Jackson caught on to the fact that Kenzo reads his books, and Kenzo was like refused to admit to it, and that whole thing. I was like at the gym listening to that, and at the gym, I was laughing at that part. That was my favorite scene, I think.
I like that one too because a lot of times I feel like in romance books, there's like the character who's like, I've been reading your books all along. Like, I've been in love with your books. And like having that in a mystery book was kind of fun.
Yeah, and they hated each other. So it was like, hate to love? Question mark?
I liked when Malcolm died.
Exactly.
Yes. I just wish, like you said, Sienna had killed him instead of him being the only one that died by accident.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was satisfying.
I liked Malcolm's death too, but I also actually really liked the epilogue in general, but especially when at the end he's like reading the book out to the audience and they're all kind of like connecting with it. I really felt like that was nice because it did bring back that kind of love for writing and why authors choose to write, even though they have all these critiques of the publishing industry and the connection that authors have with readers. So I really liked that as well.
Mine was a bit of a boring scene, but I liked the scene at the beginning where they all arrived and we kind of met them all and introduced them all. And it's for like the opposite reason Jan was saying annoyed her earlier. But like I kind of liked how we met them all and they were kind of all archetypal characters, like stereotypical of what you expect for someone who writes that genre, because that's like very typical in particularly like classic murder mystery. Like Agatha Christie's do it a lot, like have these archetypal characters that would sometimes subvert expectations, sometimes wouldn't. And I don't feel like we really subverted expectations a lot necessarily, which I would have liked to have done more. But in that first scene, I was like, okay, this is really interesting. Like, we're going to play on what we think of them as these authors, which didn't necessarily happen. But I do also like kind of the idea of archetypal characters in a murder mystery because I think it's kind of, I don't know, it gives like an interesting starting point often. But yeah.
I always think of Darcy Coates and how like when I met her at this author event, she was wearing pink and she was all smiley and bubbly. And she had like bubbles on her shirt, and then she writes all these horror stories.
Yeah,
I love that.
He just fell. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Wait, why did everyone hate the epilogue?
I think personally the epilogue was way too long.
Okay.
I liked Kenzo also doing the author event. Like I thought that was an interesting scene. I just thought it went on for way too long. And it turned out to be my least favorite scene because I thought this was going to be the moment the book was going to try to do something to surprise me. And Kate was going to be at the event. She was going to be in the audience or she was going to be coming up for a signing. Like I was waiting for the book to do something at the end. And instead it was just like, this is the end, ... or is it? And I was like, are we Goosebumps? Like, come on.
I did hate the, or is it? I thought that's cheesy.
Yeah.
I thought Kate would be there. And I was like, oh, no one's there. Okay.
Yeah, it was just, okay, he's just a writer. Good for him.
It was also like, I'm glad he survived, but I don't understand how he survived.
Me neither. I kind of
And also, like, why are we introducing a random character in the epilogue who saved his life? I don't know. It made me upset.
I don't technically have a question here that's least favorite scene, but I don't actually have an answer for favorite scene because I didn't really like anything that we were doing. But least favorite scene, yeah, is when it's revealed that Angus, there was the caretaker on the island the entire time, and he helped Kenzo get off the island. I just don't care. I just don't like. I don't think that's interesting. It doesn't change anything about the book. So I think like that was the one moment that was supposed to be something. Because also in the interview, the author talk that I saw, and somebody mentioned, sorry, I lost the comment now, but somebody mentioned that there's a podcast episode where they talk about the writing of the book together. So definitely check that out if you can search for it. But what was I saying?
The caretaker, who wasn't random, by the way, because they saw his hat.
Right. So it was like the whole book, you think that there's another person on the island, and there turns out to be another person on the island. Like but they were talking in the interview about how V.E. Schwab was like, I don't want to pretend that I'm smarter than you. Like, I want you to be on the same page as me. I want to give you like 2 reveals that you saw coming that I set up for you to understand, and 1 shocking moment. And I was like, what was supposed to be the shocking moment? Because was it the Angus moment? Because who cares? Like, that doesn't change anything about the book. It's like, you thought you saw a man on the island the entire time, and there was indeed a man on the island. And
now
like,
if Angus were the killer, or if Arthur, what I really thought, I think this is one of your questions, sorry, but I think I wanted Arthur to be actually alive and faking his death and wanting to kill his editors because he was sick of the pressure of writing, and he didn't want to finish his book. He wanted to remain a little mysterious, and he wanted everyone to be pissed off because he's pissed at the industry, he's pissed at his readers, he's pissed at everybody. So that's what I wanted.
At the same time, though, I think we all expected that. Like, we all wanted that to be the reveal. And if it was that, we would have all been like, well, obviously I saw that coming. So it's so hard because like that is a part of the book that is the mystery, is like, is he actually dead? Because we don't see the body. No one sees the body. And in fact, there's one moment where Eleanor is on the phone, or she says afterwards, she said, oh, the caretaker called me to tell me that Arthur died, but I could barely understand what he was saying. And I feel like that was trying to set up that he's not actually dead, and she misunderstood him. But then that didn't go anywhere. And I was like, that's sad.
Or if it was paranormal, that would have been sick.
Oh my God. I don't know if people would have liked that.
Oh my gosh, I don't think she's heard me laugh before. And the way that you guys can't see, but the way that she looked at me when I laughed, she was like,
it's like 5 weeks and I have to listen.
You should have seen when I sneezed yesterday.
No.
And she was on me. I was cat trapped and I sneezed. It was not good.
Oh my God. I hate joy.
Okay, what would everybody have changed about the book? I have a really long list, so I'm going to try to think about just one.
The twist that I just said, and also if only V.E. Schwab wrote this.
Oh my God, that's
oh my God.
No, we don't know who's responsible for what part, and
I know, but I'm just biased. No offense, Cat Clarke. I hope you never watch this.
Cat Clarke is flipping off this live show.
You'll hate to know they're already writing another book together.
Oh, really?
Are they?
Yeah.
That's wild because V.E. Schwab was so adamant about not co-writing. They're like, I hate group projects. And then...
Well, now we see why. I agree about... I thought Arthur would be the one, like he was alive. I thought, and I think I saw someone comment this, but I thought he would want them to finish it, and then he'd be like, great, and kill them and be like, I finished it. So, like, exactly. I thought that would be it. Or I would keep it how it was organized at the beginning and not just switch super long chapters, like include the backstories within the POVs instead of having a separate chapter within. Anyway, I would change a lot of things.
Yeah, I think I would change it so there would be anything shocking in the book. At no point was I shocked or gagged or anything. So I wish there was just like some twist that I was like, oh my gosh. But this didn't have any of that. So that's why I feel like it was just fine as well, because I'm like, okay, nothing shocking. I feel like for a mystery or thriller, I feel like I need to be shocked. If it doesn't shock me, I don't think that it was as successful.
Was anybody
Yeah.
surprised by Priscilla being Ava, though? Because I think maybe if we're talking about surprising moments, that's the only one that
Yeah.
technically did it for me.
Yeah,
That's what I put as my surprising moment too.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess
sorry, I'm
I
jumping questions. Wait. What surprised you?
That's it.
I think that's it for all of us.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
And like Rufus as well.
Rufus
yeah.
and Holden, yeah.
But
I
also,
was-
I don't think that really matters because he's
No.
the same guy. Like, is he an editor? Is he an agent?
Yeah,
is
they just
is
can't
he an assistant? It doesn't matter. He's still, regardless, one of the three who is putting on the event for the authors to attend. You know, like it didn't really matter to me, that reveal.
I did
Yeah.
suspect Millie before I suspected Kate. Like, yeah, Kate was obvious. Also, I highly think I'm convinced that Cat Clarke was the one who decided on Kate being the killer, because Cat and Kate, there's no way.
She's like,
You
make
know?
me him.
Yeah, it's just like, this is my girl. I'm gonna make her the badass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing really like surprised me because I didn't feel like anything really, like, aside from Ava having the red pen because she's an editor, like nothing really set up the fact that she was an editor or anything. So I was
I've already just connected the dots. Like, oh, whoa,
like every reveal, I was like, oh,
yeah.
all right.
Okay, we can get back to the ranting about what we would change.
I would change the pacing and the ending. I think I got confused about whether it wanted to be a mystery or a thriller. And like, I think the ending could have been stronger if it was more thrillery, even in terms of people dying one by one. But it wasn't. It dragged out, like we were saying, with people's backstories and stuff. Like, and then there were none, which it's based on. It isn't really a mystery. It's more like Agatha Christie's thriller that she did. So yeah, I feel like the ending pacing is just rough. And I think it could have been fun if like Sienna wasn't really dead and like she faked her death and then she was killing everyone. I would have enjoyed that. I would have been like, yes, Sienna, because like we like her by that point. So that could have been fun. But yeah, that ending is rough. Rotten.
I think it also would have been cool if we got to read, but his name's Kenzo, right? I forget all the characters. Kenzo's horror story instead of this probably would have been more interesting.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
yeah,
about.
like whatever he turned it into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my rant. Let's go. Okay, going back for the Golden Book was really stupid. I thought that was like, I think it was supposed to be symbolism and like I want to appreciate it, I want to respect it, but I think the Golden Book of it all was really underutilized. It kind of felt like a silly treasure hunt at the end. It was like she has to go back for this Golden Book and that's the reason that she drowns, and it was just too symbolic for me because it's the idea that like she doesn't have to do any work, but she still like is going after the money and she's still gonna like win this prize even though she didn't do anything, and then it's her demise because she couldn't let go of the dream of getting to the top without doing any work. Like I just thought it was stupid. I think that this book was too short. I think some people might say it's too long because the chapters are really dragged out. I think it was too short. I think we should have gotten, I don't know, 3 more years of development and 200 more pages, and we should have gotten to read the original book or excerpts from Arthur's book. And then we should have gotten, and maybe this is like giving too much pressure to the author duo in here to write all of the endings and come up with like 6 good ideas, but I want to read the endings. I want to read the concepts for the book. I also think that this book should have been way more stylized. Like I'm surprised with the marketing budget and the push that this book got, that it is as simplistic looking as it is. I think that we should have gotten like scraps of paper as the typewriter. I think we should have gotten like, we should have seen the NDA that they were signing. I think we should have gotten like text, like the texts were just on the page as words. They weren't in a text bubble. And I just feel like I would have liked a lot more detail and a lot more uniqueness. Like, why did we not have a character list at the beginning? Why didn't we have a map of the house? Why didn't we have a map of the island? I feel like this is such an average mystery as far as the construction of it. And yet it's being like marketed as like the #1 mystery of the year. And I just think it should have had more put into it. And I think that way about the audiobook too. We only got one narrator and she's mispronouncing words throughout it, which I think is crazy. And I don't know why we didn't get a full cast. Like there's one point in the book or twice that she mispronounces the word read as read, as if she's not even reading the book. She says like, oh, they left me on read in a text. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like you're just reading the words. You're not actually thinking about what you're saying. It's just pissing me off. What else? I came up with a lot of theories that I think were better than what the book gave us. I think one of the authors like should have already been writing as Arthur, I think, and was just trying to get better ideas. Oh my God, what else? I think Kate should have been in the audience at the end. Mm-hmm. I think there should have been more in killing. Like this book is just so like it didn't mislead us in any way. It's like there's an author who's dead. He was dead. There's one person who wants it so bad they're killing everyone. And that was the truth. There's 3 people who brought all these authors here and they're all mid-list. Like all of that was true. Like you didn't lie to me about a single thing. And I think that was frustrating because I think there just should have been, I think like Sienna should have killed Malcolm. I think more people should have been killing other people or trying to kill other people. The fact that just one person was responsible for 3 deaths and then one was an accident, I just think it's kind of boring. I think I'll probably leave it there. More deaths earlier on. Yeah, that'd be a good change because then it'd be exciting. Mm-hmm. And I agree with what Megan was saying that it's like, and I know she feels this way, especially that like she likes to keep her mysteries and her thrillers separate. Like I know that about her. And so I think if this was just going to be a mystery, then it could have been more well constructed, but they were distracted by trying to like make exciting things happen. But then therefore I would have wanted it to be a thriller. And like, let's just do crazy shit. So
yeah, I even think it should have leaned more thriller in the end. Like it would have made it more fun. And I also think it tried to have too many nods to murder mystery conventions or tropes. Like that part where Malcolm is like interviewing everyone is, I think, supposed to be a reference to Murder on the Orient Express, where like Poirot sits every character down and interviews them. But in those interviews, there's like clues and little nuggets of information and like stuff like point you towards different people, whereas this was literally just everyone going like, it ain't me, it's not me, like for like 2 pages each. So I just feel like it was trying to, I also just feel like they read Murder on the Orient Express and then there were none of like, wait, let's write a mystery murder. It did feel a little bit like that to me, a little.
Yeah, I do feel like it's kind of unrealistic for them to have written 6 endings that we got to read because like then you're saying Sienna came up with this incredible idea for an ending and then they give it to us. And what if we read it and we were like, that's all it was? But I want the endings. Like I wanted to get to read more of their work. I wanted it to be just a little more immersive, a little more mixed media. I think that's my biggest qualm with this book. Okay, I'm so glad I got my chance to rant. Thank you so much. 2 questions remain. There's a new cat.
Sorry, she was yelling at me. She's a lot bigger. This size difference.
Will we read from this author duo again, and then we'll get into recommendations?
No. I mean, I guess since they're writing another book and V.E. Schwab's in it, yeah, I guess.
I think it's kind of unclear because what they said in the discussion was that they signed a 2-book deal, but that was in response to somebody asking if there's a potential sequel. And so I'm not sure if them answering it that way was saying they're going to write a sequel with these characters or if it was saying they're writing something completely different. I think they were being intentionally vague about it.
How would you have a sequel?
Well, like Kenzo now goes and starts his own writing retreat, and like there's something else that happens. Like,
I'd read a book about Kenzo. I read a book about Kenzo. But like the part I love how they did. I love and I hate. I sarcastically love that they did like a where are they now? Like just a little snippet of each of their. It's like after a true crime documentary, and it's like this many. Yeah, why did they do that? I already answered the question. Go, Darian.
Oh, well, no. Unless it came out and everyone was like, whoa, this is amazing. Then I would read it. But they lost their chance.
But if we think about them as a debut, like this is a debut, maybe we should be nicer that it's like they have the potential to go up from here.
No.
I'll try a Cat Clarke. I'll give her a chance.
I think that she has a lot of opinions. I don't know if y'all can hear her, but she does say about this. But I think I would, if the plot, I was like, I'm really interested in this plot. Like, I want to read this plot. If not, then no.
Yeah, fair.
Okay. Sorry about that, everyone. Dita decided to bring the camera down. So she's like playing with the white screen. I think here's the thing. I'm bad at. I read every V. Schwab. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's certain authors I go back to again and again. So I feel like I would, even though I did have issues with this. But like, I also did love a lot about it in certain ways. Like, there were moments where I could see V. Schwab's writing like coming through. Like, she just has these lines. I'm like, oh, that's so good, you know. So I think I would give it a go, and also probably because again, it would have like quite a big marketing push and like be one of the mysteries of the year, and like I'd probably end up reading it in the Goodreads Choice Awards mystery show at the end of the year, like even if I wanted to or not. So yeah, I'll say yes, but a tentative yes.
I'm gonna say no. Unless everyone was like, no, but you have to read this, then I think
she's like, unless I have a say in the writing process.
Also, like, there was the question of my favorite scene. I didn't have a favorite scene. I didn't ask favorite quote, because here's the thing that left my mind, because I didn't highlight a single thing in this book. There was no line by line that I was like, oh, this is beautiful, this is incredible. But I will say something that I liked was Kenzo's. They have these little like what are they called?
Interludes?
Intersplition. They called it something on Fable. Where there's like little moments where you get to read like somebody's journal or something. And the one that I did like was Kenzo's, where it was 4 of the tropiest horror tropes. And he talked about like the let's split up trope and the never trust technology. I thought that was fun, but I wanted those to mean something more. I wanted those to be more fleshed out. And I kind of assumed that was going to be like some investigator was like looking through all of this material at the end. I thought that's where we were going. So those felt a little underutilized. But
I do have a favorite quote.
Okay. Oh my God. Please share. Please.
I wrote it in my notes. I think I want to say Kenzo said it. I'm assuming because it's about horror. But it says, and sometimes there are monsters, but those are just constructs, foils. At its core, horror is about humans, what we're capable of, and what we're capable of surviving.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was a V. Schwab quote. Let's be real.
Yeah. I've written all over it.
Right.
Good writers only compete with themselves. I like that one. Okay, recommendations. If you think anything was kind of similar to this in vibe that you want to tell the people to read next, I would love to hear it.
The only ones I had were The Writing Retreat and Then There Were None, which we all I forgot to say, I thought it was a cult. That was one of my predictions. I thought it was a cult at first, because as soon as people take phones away, I'm like, it's a cult. It's a cult. And like, it's an isolated setting. It's an isolated setting. It's a group of strangers. Phones are taken away. There's no access to the outside world for a given amount of time. It's a cult. It wasn't.
I'm so glad it wasn't a cult. I would have hated it. It's funny because there's this element where like a couple weeks ago when people started really reading the book, I saw a bunch of people messaged me or commented on Instagram. They were like, you are going to hate this book. Like, you specifically are going to hate it. And I was like, okay, so this now means it's either a cult or there's a character who everyone is supposed to know who turns out to be in disguise, because that's my least favorite thing. I hate it so much. Alice Feeney does it in one of her books where it's like a character that someone has known for like 20 years. And then because she like puts on a wig or something, she doesn't recognize her for the entire book. I hate it. So I was like, that's going to happen. And maybe I think people were telling me that because of that, because maybe Ava being an editor for this really famous author, and none of these authors, even though they know Arthur so well, like they know his career, none of them recognized her as being his editor for all of these years. Like maybe that there's something there that people thought I would hate. Sorry, back to recommendations.
Sorry.
I don't really have any.
That's fine.
The only thing that really like it reminds me of, but it's kind of obvious, is One by One by Ruth Ware, which I liked better. I read that a while ago. But I was like,
Yeah.
hey, they're getting killed one by one.
Yeah, I also the Writing Retreat I feel like is the best alt title. And then this is one of the only I know you just dissed Miss Alice Feeney. And this one surprised me. So
I would have never spoiled that except for the fact that she's published like 8 books, and there's no way you've read all of them except for that one, and you'll still be shocked by it. So
Yeah, I often don't like kind of and then there were uninspired books because I find the formulaic killing a bit boring, like knowing, oh, next chapter someone's going to die. Like, I don't find that very exciting. But One by One by Ruth Ware is also like my favorite type of that. And I also love The Writing Retreat. And shout out to just like, you know, some of us loving The Writing Retreat when it's got a lyric. Obviously, we have taste.
I know,
here,
like people
you know what I mean?
hate this book.
We
So
have
like
taste.
it's hard to recommend it because
Yeah.
it's so different from the ending rights itself because like this is whack-a-doodle.
Yeah.
Of course I hate that.
Yeah. And I do want to recommend, I read recently, I mentioned earlier, The Murder at World's End. It's not like people dying one by one, but it is like an isolated setting. It's like characters are stuck on an island and murders are happening. It is also historical. It's like set in 1910. The comet is flying over Earth and everyone thinks it's going to kill them. But it's like a really fun detective duo of like this butler and a crazy old lady who makes him do everything that she wants him to do and like investigate everything. And it was just a really fun murder mystery. So if you're looking for like a simpler murder mystery, kind of like this, but better, I would recommend The Murder at World's End by Ross Montgomery.
Heck yeah. You Are Fatally Invited I also have on my list. But this again, people don't seem to totally love. I gave it a 4. I quite enjoyed it. This is a really good island author story. And then I just pulled like every author-based mystery off my shelf, of course. So, rapid fire, I'm not going to tell you what they're about. The Woman in the Library. Again, this is unpopular. People don't like this, but I thought it was really good. Especially it has like a slower pace. It's more of a character study. My girl, Finley Donovan, she's an author. She accidentally is responsible for death. This is an author group who are on like vacation and a book tour and somebody's going to die. This one's fun and like lighthearted. And then everyone on this train is a suspect. Is a bunch of authors on a train and someone dies. The Last Word, big recommend. This is if you like commentary about the publishing industry. This is like a reviewer who leaves a bad review and the author is maybe stalking her.
Oh yeah, so good.
And then another one people don't like, but if you like a bookseller mystery, 8 Perfect Murders, I think is very good because somebody is killing people according to this list that this bookseller wrote of like the best killings in mystery books. It does spoil like every famous mystery book though. So I got to set you up for that. And that is everything we have. I'm going to go through all these recommendations later. I always come back because this is my favorite section of the live show where I get people telling me what I need to read next because I need some recommendations. Okay, I'll put it on my list, Darian.
Don't forget about Myrtle.
I don't like playing the game online, but I think if I had it in front of me, it would be more interesting. And then I could read the mystery.
It's so fun.
I really like it too.
It's like the only thing that got me through moving.
Oh, I love it.
Like I couldn't read. I was like, I need my Myrtle.
Yes, I think I listened to the audiobook if You Were Fatally Invited, and I'm pretty sure it has a full cast. So it's kind of like everything you're looking for, if I'm remembering it correctly. If you didn't see the announcement for the month of June, we are reading 5 by Ilona Bannister. This is a very slow character study, but I've just heard it's really well crafted. And one of the 5, is that from the library? Oh, I was going to say, is that from Aardvark?
Yeah, library.
Mine is still on its way. I'm still waiting for it. It's taking its time. But then somebody dies at a train station by the end of the book. And then for July, we're reading Something Dreaming of Electric Sheep by Paul Tremblay, which is like a sci-fi thriller. I feel like this year I've very much just been like, I'm going to pick whatever the heck I want. And if you want to read it with me, you can. You don't have to.
Good.
And it's just things that intrigue me. I'm not thinking so much about mass appeal anymore. It's just things that I feel like sound interesting. And sometimes I absolutely hate them. And sometimes I love them. So we will see how the next one goes. Thank you so much for being here. And we'll see you later. Bye.